Welcome to the Freaky Film Club. We have a very special guest tonight, and romance is in the air. Colin, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy that we have a chance to do this. It is like kind of fitting because this is really what the start of Media Pod Smash really was. It was like, I don't know if you remember, but like over 10 years ago now, you and we did this. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And it was actually like that's what like originally what Media Pod Smash was called, which is so weird. Like there's an image on one of my old hard drives of like you and me like turned into cartoons before the whole Robert thing happened.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
that's awesome.
You're holding a hammer like smashing like a DVD or something.
Oh yeah.
So like yeah, it's kind of weird. Like our whole concept was gonna be like we'd just do commentary over old and somewhat newer too, shitty movies. Like, yeah. Like we would buy those packs from Walmart, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the, like $5 packs of movies. Like 3 movies for $5.
Yeah.
You knew they would just be shitty.
Yeah, like hell yeah. We got that treasure trove here.
Right.
And I think like we actually did like 5 or 6 episodes. Like we did a pretty fair amount, but I don't know if they're even like I still have them somewhere, but I don't know if they're listenable or not.
Right. I don't know.
But yeah, we definitely did some gems. We did Jason X. We did. I remember there was a film on there called Drive Through. Which was like
I don't remember that one at all.
I think it was about like a killer like fast food mascot, like he was like a clown. And then of course the very awesome film called Laser Mission.
Oh, that's amazing. Where they redid the same scene.
Yes.
We left it in the movie.
Yeah. Like something's got to be wrong with this DVD. Nope.
Right.
We reversed it and like watched it again and they repeated it. It was like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to maybe revisit that. One day in the future, like if those audio files actually didn't turn out so great. Because if I recall correctly, I think what we ended up doing was like we had a boom mic draped over like a ceiling fan.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Set up.
If that didn't work out so well, we'll definitely be revisiting some of those films.
Right.
And this one we're doing tonight, not to leave everyone into suspense for too long, we're doing My Bloody Valentine 3D. And it holds a special place in our hearts because we actually saw it together in theaters in 2009 when it came out. Yeah.
In 3D.
And I tried to watch it again in 3D.
Did you?
Yeah, because I got like the cardboard glasses with my copy.
Did you? Oh, you have the actual copy too of the 3D? Oh, dang.
It actually, some parts I felt like held up pretty well, but like by the end of it, I was like, God, I probably should have just watched the 2D because like my nose was really hurting. And like it was like kind of like, I don't know, some stuff it was like the novelty wore off after a while.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. It's definitely a fun movie. And
it is.
It's a lot better than I remember. Like I remember coming out of the theater being like, what the fuck did we just watch?
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Like the second time, like what is it? 12 years later.
Yeah, hard to believe.
13 almost. Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so I guess we'll just dive right in here.
All right.
So it was directed by Patrick Lussier, I don't know, Canadian director. Didn't do a whole lot, but he did another 3D film, Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. I haven't seen it, but it looks ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was written by Todd Farmer, and kind of a familiar name because he also wrote Jason X.
Oh, really?
which
did, huh? Yeah, writer.
Kind of funny because there's definitely there's some hints of that in here.
Okay. Yeah.
But and it's also funny because it's another movie that we happened to do back in the day. But and then starring, so there's a lot of nobodies in this. I'm just gonna say.
There's a lot of I don't know anyone.
The one standout is a gentleman named Tom Atkins, who, if people have listened to some of our other Freaky Film Clubs, they'll know as the main character from Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. And he's actually sort of an icon in the horror world. He's done a lot of other horror movies.
Seems like it.
Yeah, he went on to do like a lot of conventions and stuff and became sort of a fan favorite. So it's cool that they got him in here. I did no idea that he was in this until I rewatched it today. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's amazing.
That's awesome.
And it's really funny because like in Season of the Witch, he's just this doctor, but you think that he's a sheriff the way he acts. So it's cool that they actually made him a sheriff in this movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of other characters, like nobodies really. They've been in like some small handful of movies here and there, but I'll probably just be referring to them as their character names throughout this while we do this. So yeah, here we go. So the first, we kind of open up. I thought the intro was really cool. You get like the newspaper, and they're kind of giving you like the headlines and everything.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was pretty good. I like that.
And then you get like it takes place sort of like opens up in the past, and there's like this massacre that happens.
Right.
Like let's see, what is the dude's name? Harry Warden. That was the miner. Yeah, apparently he has come back to life, and he is not happy. So
right, he was in a coma. Are we talking about that? Is that right? Okay. That was just crazy. Is that he wakes up and then kills this nurse, but like, does the nurse make any noise at all? Like to alert anyone else?
Not at all.
That's what I'm gonna have to come up. That's a point that's gonna come up a lot.
Yeah. Like she literally just takes it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Tom Atkins deliver a fantastic line, which we referenced the hell out of growing up. Like,
that's right.
He looks down and he sees the body and goes, "Happy fucking Valentine's Day."
Right? Oh my God.
I think when we watched it in theaters, we must have laughed our asses off at that.
I said that so much.
Yeah.
Happy fucking Valentine's Day.
It's like so good. It's just basically a massacre that happens.
Massacre in the whole entire wing of the hospital. No one decided to call the cops. I don't know how this guy got away with killing everyone in the hospital with a pickaxe.
Yeah,
and there's no officer.
I don't understand it either. Like the security must have been
it's like off. It's a massacre.
Yeah,
it's a bloodbath in the hospital.
And he had time to take the heart out, so that took like another probably 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's very bizarre. Very, very lax security that night.
Yes, very lax security.
Then we cut to, well, what we think is the present, but it's not really. It's still the past, but it's a little bit further out from the massacre, and it cuts to the small town. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool. Like I've had a thing for like these small towns in these horror films. Like they just seem like so charming, like a place that you just want to dive into.
Right.
And they are having a party in the local mine, which seems like it'd be fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely like something we would do if we had like a spot like that in our
It is a small town.
Yeah.
That's true. I think we would do that.
I mean, probably the closest we've come is like gravel pits.
Yeah.
So we get an intro to the characters, which there really aren't many, but we kind of see the main ones here. There's Tom, there's Axel, and then there's Sarah. There's a few others, but those are the three main ones. And they go down to the mine, and this is like, okay, we have like our first like red herring of the movie, but then slowly we see the killer after that. So there's a guy who puts the mask on who tries to scare Sarah, and it's just kind of lame.
Yeah.
And he says the line like I don't know, something like stupid, but he's like, check this out, Michael. Like, and I didn't understand what he meant by that, because like, check what out? Like, I scared her?
Yeah.
Like, it's really strange. But then immediately after that, the real killer comes. And what do you think about like the look of the killer with the gas mask and everything?
I actually kind of think it's pretty good, actually. Now, after it's I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad. As like I know I was making fun of it back in the day, but now I think back, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
killer.
I agree.
It's kind of scary. If a guy with a pickaxe was coming after you looking like that, I'd be kind of scared.
I agree. I would probably be shitting bricks. And it's definitely clever in terms of like, considering, you know, we've seen so many different looks already, like up until that point, like you saw hockey masks, you saw people with sacks over their heads already. So it's like, it is a new kind of idea. So
because you can't really see anything except eyes. Mask, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And they got a nice, like a really cool, well, it's not cool, but like a good like body, like double or a guy, whatever you want to call it, like stunt man to play him. Like he's very bulky, like a Jason.
It is like that. Or it's almost like Bane, but taller.
Yeah. So we kind of get introduced to him very quickly, and the main people hide, and they do such a great job of hiding until the dude starts chasing them, or he chases someone else, like he's distracted, but then she screams, and that's kind of what draws his attention back toward them.
They were hiding, like I don't know how the guy wouldn't have seen him in the first place,
right?
Like when he saw the other guy, he's like, "What's going on, guys?" And they were like facing that guy. Like I don't know how I don't know.
They should not have been able to last that long.
Right.
But even when they had their chance then to finally get away, then she screams for like no reason. Like you knew that he was coming. So the whole thing was just a train wreck. And then you get the shovel kill, which is really cool because half of her face gets split off.
Right? Oh my goodness.
I mean, this was like very graphic. I was surprised.
It was. Yeah, I remember. It was. Yes, it was.
And even before that, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the dude who originally pranks her gets his eye popped out. And I mean, that's insane. That's definitely a throwback to there was a Jason movie where someone's eye did that, and I'm sure that was probably a throwback to that. And I don't know if it happens in the original My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I didn't. Have you watched that before?
I have not.
I have not either. We should have watched that too.
Yeah,
just compare them. But
so for the purposes of this thing, we'll just be talking about the 09 version and not making any references to it because we're just dummies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a good one to go back and check out now. But yeah, so that was a cool effect, and they 3D.
3D.
Yeah. So then after the shovel kill, the three survivors make their way out of the mine, and Tom is the only one that kind of doesn't make it. He gets left behind, and you think he's going to get killed. But just as soon as that happens, the sheriff and some other officer shows up, and it's Tom Atkins actually, and some other dude, and he shoots the killer. And even though he shoots him once in the back. He's able to like make his way out of the mine or deeper into the mine.
Right. Yeah. It's like, how'd that happen?
Yeah. And you don't really know, like, I guess at this point, what happens to Tom. You assume he makes it out because the killer sort of like runs away, but you're not really sure. And then we cut 10 years later, which definitely surprised me. I totally forgot they did that. Like, because when I first saw them cut to the small town, I was like, okay, now we're in the present. That's and then, so then they started showing the people getting taken out, though. And I'm like, holy shit, this really starts out fast.
I remember. Yeah, that's true. I was like, wait, what?
So, I was a little surprised to see 10 years, but then I was like, oh, yeah. So we're reintroduced to the main characters again and kind of catching up with what they're up to. And Axel is now the town sheriff, and he's married to Sarah. And Tom is just out of town. He's living a different life somewhere else, and no one knows where the fuck he is. Not even his dad.
And his dad's the owner of a mine.
Yes. Yeah. Again, you see some really cool shots of like the small town. You really get that cool vibe. And they're at like some diner. That's kind of where we're being reintroduced to everybody. And it turns out that Axel is a cheating asshole.
Yes, he is.
And this is a weird thing. It ends up being Sarah, which I think we were introduced to at the party earlier too. I think
Sarah,
or not Sarah. I'm sorry. Sarah is who he's married to. God, I have a habit of fucking up character names, and I'm probably never gonna stop. But Megan, I think.
Is it Megan? Yeah, you're right. It's Megan. Yep.
Okay, so he's
Megan.
I think she was introduced earlier too, and they're cheating together, and she reveals that she's pregnant, which I don't get because it doesn't come up ever again.
Yes, it does not come up ever again. I thought like in the she'd be like, I'm pregnant, I can't run or something like that.
Yeah.
In the grocery store.
Yeah. It doesn't happen ever. Like it's so bizarre. Yeah. So,
and he didn't have barely any reaction to that. Like, he's like just straight face, and that was it. And then cut the scene. It's like, why'd they put that in then?
Yeah.
You think he'd be like, what?
Yeah. Like, oh shit.
Any reaction. It was done.
Nothing. Yeah. So I guess I don't know. Like the only reason I can think of is to maybe make it seem like he's even more of a dick. Like I don't know,
right? But I don't care.
So then we see Tom return home, and he tells the Ben is his name. Ben is like another worker at the mine, and he tells him that he plans on selling the mine, like you had mentioned, and it's a funny line comes up here too. I had to write this down because he's like, it's not my problem. And then Ben's like, it's my fucking problem. If you want to see some guy really chewing on the scenery, that's
yes.
Yeah, he was very mad. And I guess you kind of get the idea that like he wants nothing else to really do with this, and he's having still a hard time like coping with like the events that unfolded 10 years ago.
He wants the mine erased from his mind.
Right. Yeah. So he goes to stay at a local motel, which is run.
This is my favorite scene, probably.
Nice. It was a good sequence. Immediately, you see like a little person come running out, which I'm sure back in the day too, when we saw this, we probably laughed our asses off at this.
Yes, probably did.
And she's looking for her pet that ran out, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a dog. Yep.
Okay, so then Ben picks it up, and he's like, "Oh, he'll give you your pet back for a free room or whatever."
Yeah, I'm cheap. I don't.
Yeah, even though I own a flourishing mine, I can't afford this.
No.
So he stays over, and yeah, they're next door. There's a couple having sex.
Yeah.
Their names are Frank and Irene. And
the trucker.
Yes, Frank the trucker. And I was surprised at how much full frontal they showed.
I was impressed with the amount of it was a lot.
Like, do you remember that?
No, theater? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So she is getting recorded while they're having sex. That's what kind of is revealed to her from Frank. And she's pissed, obviously. And he's like,
pissed.
And he's just like, not my problem, bitch.
She brought a gun out.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But I think it was like fake. It wasn't loaded. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It looked like a squirt gun.
Mm-hmm.
Like just painted black.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was, actually.
Probably, yeah. And she comes running out to chase after him naked.
Right.
Which is like, I get that you don't want him to like get away, but I think you could have like thrown something on, like
right?
a robe.
Nope.
And how does Frank die? Do you remember?
Do you know?
I think I know. Like,
yeah, a pickaxe. Like I don't know if the guy was in the truck or not, but he got pickaxe in the head, right? In the head.
Yeah.
So I think he was in the truck, maybe. And
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think he opened the door and he just got it right in the head.
That's right.
And then she's like, "What?"
Yeah. So she runs away back into the motel, and ducks out in, I guess it's that lady's room, the owner's room.
Yeah, it's definitely a lady's room.
Yeah,
because the owner's room, because the door knobs are like 3 feet up the ground.
I didn't even notice that.
Yes. I was like, oh, that's so funny.
Oh my God, that's really funny. I didn't see that. So he, at first you think he's like gonna just leave because she comes back into the room and is looking again for her dog. Unfortunately, she gets killed.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
Like all the way up into the ceiling, destroyed. Like
Does she gets hooked on the pickaxe, right? And then
and just shoved right into the ceiling. Like she took out lights and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more hardcore kills in that.
Yeah. He took out the ceiling with her. Like it was insane.
And she has to watch. Irene is just witnessing this the whole time, and she tries to make a break. Well, not really. I mean, she gets kind of like shoved up against the wall with the bed frame.
Yeah, he found out she was under the bed.
Yeah,
he tore the bed off, and there's a metal frame.
Yeah,
you can see right through. And then she picks the bed frame up and puts it against the wall, like that's gonna help her.
Right, not a great move.
She pretty much caged herself in to die.
Yeah, like, definitely wouldn't have been my first idea.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, the only thing that like kind of prolonged it was the fact that he had to be precise now with his stabs. But he got in there.
Yeah.
So then after that, it's the next day. The cops are investigating, and Axel's there, kind of just seeing what happened. Notices the heart's missing. And then Tom runs into Sarah at the store that she's working at, and they get reacquainted. And she's like, "How fucking dare you? You've been gone so long." And then this is kind of odd, I thought. So we see it's the next night, and Sarah's back at their house. We get introduced to their kid, and like they have a maid. Like,
weird.
I mean, I guess Sheriff probably makes a decent amount of money, but she works at a convenience
She's
store.
A cashier at this like small town.
Yeah, like that's I don't know how they can afford a maid.
How are they affording this?
So
that's true.
And it's like, it really wasn't that necessary to the plot. Like, I guess it just explains why they're often leaving their kid alone at home.
Right. Yeah. That must be the reason.
Yeah. So then Axel and Martin review the footage, and that's when they receive the heart package.
It's a Valentine. Oh right. My gosh, I love this scene too.
Yeah.
Just because it's like she brings this box of like chocolates, but there's blood all over it, and she doesn't even notice that there's blood all over it. Like she's like, "Here you go. There's a Valentine for you." Right. I'm like, oh my gosh. Here's a box of chocolates for you, sir.
No big deal. Like, yeah. It's just
and then he picks it up and there's blood all over it. Like, right. She didn't notice that in the first place.
She just thinks it's the cherry juice or something. Yeah. It's chocolate cherries. Right? Yeah, that was pretty fucking weird. So yeah, then after that, there's the confrontation at the bar. Everyone in town hates Tom. And then Axel is at home watching the tape at 2 a.m, and it sounds like he's watching porn.
Pretty much.
And I had to like turn my TV down so often at the beginning of this movie. I was like, because I was watching it in the living room on surround sound, and my dad was home, and I'm like, okay, I'm not watching porn.
Yeah,
I swear.
Oh, that's funny.
But he's watching. Sarah comes in and wants to know what's going on, and he kind of expresses jealousy because he finds the photo of her and Tom, and he knows Tom's back in town now, and he's getting kind of suspicious of Tom.
I don't like this Tom.
Yeah.
He does not like him.
Does not like him at all. And of course, it's okay for him to be a cheating asshole, but how dare you, Tom? So after that, and also it's worth noting he sees Tom in the footage that he's watching in the window. That's why he really starts kind of getting suspicious. Yeah. So then Tom returns to the mine, and he wants to kind of go down there we don't know this at the time, but he's going down there to say he doesn't want to sell it anymore. And he runs into the killer, who puts him in a cage and proceeds to kill the guy that took him down there, just a random miner. I don't even know if we get to know his name at all.
No.
Really pretty brutal kill here too, because he just will not let up. Like, he just keeps hitting the guy with the axe way after he's dead.
Destroyed. Yeah. He's rough.
And it's funny because like Tom, he's like they come after and try to see what's going on, like all the other miners that are there in a different tunnel, because they hear on the phone what's going on, because the guy never has a chance to hang up. And it's like when Tom finally sees them arrive and he's still in the cage, he's like, is he okay? Like, is he alive?
Right.
It's like, damn well.
Yeah, is he dead? Like, how would you not know he wasn't dead though? I mean, he got pickaxed like 30 times.
So it's pretty fucking stupid to say that. And okay, so then we cut back to the hospital, and Tom's getting treated for his minor wounds, and he says, of course, it was Harry, and he says that to Ben, who's also at the hospital with him. And of course, people think he's crazy,
right?
Axel, this is funny too. Axel just pops out of nowhere.
Right. He really does pop out of nowhere.
Like, doesn't he come out like from behind a curtain?
Yeah. He's just like, hey.
So it's pretty
surprise.
Funny. Yeah. I guess that's pretty accurate. That shit really does happen in a small town. Like, when you least expect it, someone's gonna pop out. So they did capture that pretty well. There's another confrontation. And it's revealed that at this point, Harry was killed by the 3 fathers from town, and it was covered up by Tom Atkins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part. Wait, so say that again?
It's like a really quick thing. Like they're at the hospital still, and Axel explains to Tom, like, they actually killed Harry 10 years ago. Like the three dads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they like got together and murdered him because they took justice into their own hands.
Oh my gosh.
And then like Tom Atkins, the sheriff, he covered it up. So then they go to the woods to go find the body.
Oh yeah,
that's
right. That's why that's it.
Yeah. So then they go all the way in there. They find out, oh, what do you know? There's no body.
Right. What's some crazy sheriffs back in the day? They just like killed a guy and buried him. This is as good as he gets.
Yeah.
Like. What?
Basically, like on the outskirts of town.
Yeah.
Too.
Like, what?
There's a children's playground, and there's this body.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess things were a little more loose back then.
Mm-hmm. We'll take care of this body. Don't worry. But he has family. No, don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's a killer. We'll take care of him.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have another great thing that happens during this, actually, now that I checked my notes here. So, and I'll cut out all the parts where there's dead air.
Oh, you're good.
But there's this weird line. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's Ben is talking at the time. It's that really old guy who's like the old miner. Yeah. He's like, there's no life left in him at all. Like he stumbles over his mine, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, can you guys do a second take?
I'll have to go back and watch that part.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It was like, am I really hearing this? Like, and I don't know if they left it in because it was like, oh, maybe it makes him sound like more of a real person, but it's like. It sounded like he just totally fucked up his line.
They didn't even notice. They're just
whatever. I'm the guy that wrote Jason X. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
So yeah, that was weird. And so after that, actually, they get back into a confrontation I think they're at the police station or the hospital. I can't remember, but like Tom and Axel fight. He's basically like, oh, she settled for you. And he's like, fuck you, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And then later on that evening, after Tom leaves, he goes back into that like outskirt area where they went to go look for the body. And he discovers Tom's cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where things start getting like really interesting because he kind of he sees those like boxes in there, I think. And he sees the Valentine's card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time that this is happening, Ben is murdered by the killer at his like house, which I guess is in the woods too.
Right.
Conveniently.
Right.
And then next day, Ben is found.
Wait, so that who's killed in the woods?
Ben, the guy, that old guy.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
So that was stupid. Oh my god! Like how he died. Like they moved his like the pickaxe. He like struggled with the pickaxe, and then it like centered on his eye. Right. Yeah. And then he's like, oh fuck! And then he took this like he could have moved out of the way. I think.
I think
because he took his hand. I don't know how it was struggling with it, and then he's just like, all right, I'm just gonna die here, like because he used his foot to like stomp on that pickaxe. I think he could have moved out of the way, like at least his head. He just gave up. I think
it did seem like
old man gave up.
Yeah, he was tired of this. Like I cannot.
He's like, well, I'm screwed.
They're selling the mine anyways,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was it definitely seemed that way. I agree. After that, they cut to the next day and the police see that Ben's in the grave, the empty grave. And of course it makes Axel even more suspicious.
Right.
So he thinks it's either, of course, the sheriff, Tom Atkins, or Tom. And Megan and Sarah get attacked. And Actually, this was pretty cool. I like the usage of like the tight spaces, like the aisles and like the fluorescent lighting of the grocery store.
Yeah, I'm curious about, is this where they got the most advertising? like you know, like,
yeah.
It's a grocery store, so I mean, there's a lot of ad space. I think there's a lot. I think like Lay's has, I don't know which one. No, it's like Oots.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
I think it's like Utz.
Utz, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed
some advertising.
I saw some cereals, I think.
Some Laffy Taffy.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely where their sellout moment.
Yep, it was. They're like, we got a grocery store scene. All right.
Come at us.
Brand.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. They kind of get chased around for a little bit by the killer. And she actually she hits him in the head with like a frozen turkey, which is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually they make their way into like the back of the store. Pretty intense sequence, I guess. They try to barricade the door. He disappears. And then Sarah starts climbing, or not Sarah, god damn it. Megan starts climbing out the window.
Yep.
And then he disappears and she's like, no, come back in.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah. Fortunately, he just couldn't have hit that alarm right when he walked in the fucking door, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't understand that one. I was like, oh my God. Now I'm gonna hit the alarm. You know?
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh my gosh.
It really makes no sense at all. Like the only explanation again I would think of is like what Rosie always used to refer to as like people having lizard brain and just like not thinking at all and being panicked. But still, like it's come on, I agree, man. Like hit that button, dude. There's two of you.
She had to have two people move all that, like the dresser. I mean, whatever that was. So how'd she get out of that without like having someone to move it? I'm so confused on that one. Oh, maybe she, like the guy had a big enough hole. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But.
I mean, that's another like one of those head scratchers, though. But lucky for her, as soon as she gets to the main entrance, Axel pops up and he's here to save the day. So they go around the building and find the body of Megan.
Like this guy is a fast killer. Like with this is how long would it take to get to the front of the store? And then all of a sudden they find her body and it's like all gutted with her heart out and this like really neatly, what is it? Be mine forever or something like that.
Yeah.
Written on the wall. And he disappeared.
I know. I know. Like, dude.
And he has this like old fucking miner mask on. That's impressive.
Right? You would think like it would definitely screw with his depth perception. Like those letters should not be that even.
It was really, really perfect.
Yeah.
Like, and he had like probably 2 minutes to do all that. So that's impressive.
I agree.
I want to know how he did
it. He must have, maybe he had like some stencils with him.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, we are back in the hospital. Sarah's in there. She's hospitalized for her minor wounds. We quickly cut back to Sarah's house where Rosa, the maid, and unfortunately the best character, Tom Atkins, the sheriff, dies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he comes like that's on the porch or something. Yeah.
How did that guy know that he was there?
Didn't they get like
how did it and he like jump scared the cop, which just sounds like a horrible idea to do. Like, hi, with a gun as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like things that are just kind of like.
I'm still confused. Maybe I missed something. Like, did Axel say to that guy, like, "Oh, go check my house. The killer's there." Like,
yeah,
why did that guy just show up?
I don't really remember this actually now at all. Like, did the maid get a hold of 911 before she died?
I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know.
Oh, maybe the kid called.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Well, whatever.
Yeah, that's all right. Maybe it's a plot hole, or we just missed something.
Yeah, well, write in and let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys know. Yeah. So, but either way, those two get taken out, and Sarah leaves the hospital because she gets a call from Tom, who's like, "I need to show you something," and
you trust me.
This is kind of like the big crescendo here. Tom starts taking her into the woods. He wants to show her the cabin, I guess. Well, that's, I guess, what we're led to believe as the audience. Axel calls in the while they're making their way over there, and he's like, "Sarah, don't trust this guy. And, he's not who you think, blah, blah, blah." And I gotta say, there's been a lot of wooden performances throughout this whole film, but I do like how Tom reacts in the car, as you really do like get this like psychosis from him. Like you're like, oh, this guy is definitely like insane.
There's something wrong with him.
Yeah. And so Sarah freaks out, pulls the wheel into a tree, kind of slows Tom down a little bit as she takes off towards the cabin. And it's interesting, I guess, at this moment, how they led us to believe, like, we really don't know, like, who is the real killer. I mean, I guess
I even forgot. I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember at all.
I definitely am right there with you. I was like, where is this going? And so they show the closet full of all those boxes again. Sarah's like, "Oh my God."
Boxes. Chocolate boxes.
Yeah. And she's freaking out. Like, she doesn't know what's going on, who to believe. And at this point, the killer kind of breaks into the house and attacks her again. She books it out of there.
And at that time, she thinks it's Axel.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And she makes her way into the mine. And the killer disappears, and then the two of them show up. Is that basically what happens?
I think she runs in the mine, and then all of a sudden there's no killer because they changed or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's Axel, and how did he know where that she was the whole time?
See, yeah, I don't know either.
Does he have a tracker on? I don't understand it. Because she doesn't call.
All I can think of is that, like, this is so funny, because I remember, when we were doing like some really like the really shitty Jasons and even some other shitty movies, like we always had to explain stuff. And I feel like I'm having a lot of these moments here with this movie with you where it's like, I don't know.
Right.
I have to explain. In my head, I'll just say Axel was like on a hill somewhere watching the stuff go down in the cabin, and he just followed her into the mine from a distance.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he knew that Tom had her in the vehicle and he was following in his vehicle, so he made it that far.
That's true. Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It's really, there's a lot of like plot hole-ish things for sure.
I don't remember how he got it. So Axel comes in the mine. You can go. You can keep going on your.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Axel comes in the mine, and then Tom is basically right there too, and they're standing side by side, and she puts a gun on him.
Yeah, but I think she grabs the gun from him. Is that how that?
Yes.
That's his gun.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
I forgot. I have to watch that part again.
I agree.
I don't know how did she get the gun again? I don't remember. Did they like hug it? I have no idea. I don't remember.
You'd think that part would be the freshest on our minds, but I don't remember either. But somehow she gets a gun.
Yeah, okay, got his gun.
Yeah, and she aims it at both of them, and she's like, "Oh yeah," because Tom doesn't come till like a lot later, right? Well, not a lot later, but a little, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit later.
And she's just like, don't move, either of you. And this is the point where we're all just like, who really did it? And I guess it was a pretty good twist, I'll say. I mean,
yeah,
I forgot.
I did too.
And as I guess they do the whole flashback thing here where they kind of show some moments where it gives away that it was Tom the whole time. And there's just some minor things, I guess, like they just show him at the scene of the crime at various states of the movie. Which, yeah, I mean, it was nothing like, I was never like, oh my God, this is like, not like the first time I watched Saw or anything.
No, that was, you'll never forget that, what happened with that one.
Yeah, but it was clever.
The reason Sarah knew that it was him is because he said like how Megan died, and the only way that would happen is if he was there, and he was.
Right. Yeah. Good point. That's important to include. I forgot about that.
Because she's like, wait, you weren't there. How do you know? I didn't tell you that.
Yeah. So that, and it kind of, then this leads to a whole like little final showdown thing. And what did you think about that bullet in 3D?
That was awesome. I mean, how'd you think of it? You actually watched it in 3D.
It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Probably it's like the second best 3D effect in the movie. The first, of course, being the eyeball.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So about that last scene though.
Yeah.
They were like, was it Tom and Axel were fighting for a long time, while Sarah had the gun.
Yeah.
The whole entire time, she could have shot Tom at any time in that moment where they're fighting, like, and then all of a sudden she actually gets pickaxed, like, and then she's like, "Oh no!" Like,
she waited till he was stabbed. It was ridiculous.
and then Tom starts running away and gets like shot. Like she misses every shot possible. She's like a stormtrooper. Like it's like really bad.
Yeah, like, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
It was definitely a pathetic attempt. It was so like a straight shot, like you said, like unbelievable, like how not one of those like yeah.
So then Tom comes back, smashing all the light bulbs.
Yeah. Very intimidating.
Axel's like, you have one shot left, you better fucking get
it. Yeah. And wouldn't you know it's the shot of her lifetime.
And she grazed him. She couldn't even hit him still.
Right.
Direct shot.
But somehow still manages to,
explosion of the gas bottles. Mining gas bottles? I don't know what they use those for.
Yeah, I have no idea. But hits one of those, blows them up. They somehow managed to not get damaged by that at all. And finally, they're rescued, and you see Tom alive in the rubble. They really didn't have.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you gotta remake it. You gotta make a new one.
Yeah, and I'm
Hollywood
surprised
doesn't have that much great ideas. You gotta remake. You gotta do some remakes, or like,
yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't, because there was plans, I guess, to do another of these, but they just like canceled it. I was reading somewhere.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know how much this made?
It made a lot, didn't it?
Over $100 million.
You know what
worldwide?
What was
the budget was 15 million.
Why the fuck wouldn't they? Yeah, what the
I
hell?
know, right? Wow. They're 85 million like profit. Like,
amateur hour.
It's impressive.
Heck yeah.
Money they made off this movie.
Definitely. Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and I guess the last thing is, Tom takes the mask off after he escapes out of the mine, and you're like, oh my god, I guess it's
right.
It's not over.
And Sarah completely forgets that she got cheated on.
Right. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. She loves Axel.
He'll never do it again. I mean, she's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, definitely a lot better than I recalled the first time we saw it in theaters. It was yeah. I definitely I at first picked this out because I really thought we're just gonna rip this movie a new asshole.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it ended up being like it was. It was, if you're looking for a fun slasher film around this time, and you want to get into, you can trick your significant other and be like, look, there's Valentine's in it.
Yeah.
There's romance. There's a
love definitely watch this.
Yeah.
February 14th.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch this with your significant other.
So
she would love it. So we're not going on a date or dinner. We're watching this movie.
We're ordering in and we're going to watch this. You'll love it. So I'm going to give my hell yeah moment here. And I'm going to say it was the eye popping out, of course. I don't want to be too cliche here, but how can you not love the eye pop?
That's great.
So
I just really enjoyed the motel scenes. After starting from where the trucker died, it was perfect. I don't know. After that, it was great. Yeah, I like that scene.
Is that your favorite kill too in the movie?
Yes. Yeah. She gets just smashed into the ceiling. It was kind of funny.
Nice. Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh my gosh.
So I'll give this movie a final rating of 4 heart-shaped boxes out of 5. How about you?
I'd say 4 is a good. I'll say 4 as well. It's
okay.
Good.
Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's all we really have to say about it. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to really touch on regarding this movie?
Not this movie, no.
Okay.
Did you know it was a Lionsgate film? Right? You know that?
It's funny you mentioned that because the 3D glasses that I got actually have an advertisement for one of the Saw movies on them. So that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Lionsgate has made over 440 movies. Isn't that crazy?
That is really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to recall during that era when that movie came out, they were putting out a shit ton of horror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of horror movies.
Because this was our senior year when it came out. That was when we were getting a Saw movie every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, every October.
That's so good.
And I know we at one point made it a point to try to get to see them in theaters until it started really wearing our patience down.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And then Lionsgate, I think, also distributed some of the other Saw-esque stuff. They had that Dead Silence movie and all that other crap kind of came out around this time. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's Lionsgate for sure.
Yep, that's true.
So yeah, I mean, definitely. Last thing I guess I'll say is, it was fun. Just go check it out. And
it was.
Hopefully, we'll have a chance to continue this in the future and maybe check out that original film and maybe some other really schlocky movies too, because this is definitely a nice, like, fun departure from just doing regular format. So thanks, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It was fun. It was
anytime.
All right. We'll have to figure out another movie to watch.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And then talk about it. It was fun.
Until next time, stay spooky, or whatever we ended on. I don't know. I don't remember the old closings. Ooh.